Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the long time since we've met Brenton Files, Monsters and Myths. We are very happy to be back with all of you here on the Greyhawk channel. Excited to have our finale session to finish up this little mini arc that we have gone through over the past 8 episodes. As I warned the crew, probably not wrap everything up in a tidy bow, because I love me a cliffhanger, but we'll at least get some answers for the team, figure out a little bit of what's been going on, and go from there. My name is Eugenio. I am also known as your friendly neighborhood Dungeon Master DM Jazzy Hands. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be your Dungeon Master for today. Let's go around and get everybody else's names, pronouns, characters, and all of that good stuff, and we are going to start with Alicia.
Hey, I'm Alicia. I use she, her pronouns, as well as my character, Lambo. Not Rambo, that's a different thing.
Stop it, I want to call her Rambo now.
Pronouns, and this is Rock. He's comfortable, apparently.
Oh, hi, Rock. I love it. Moving down over to Ismael. How are you today?
I'm good. My name is Ismael Alvarez, aka Elven Wizard King. I use he, him pronouns, and today I will be playing Zephyr Stewart for the last time, which is going to make me a little sad.
Oh, well, we'll see. Maybe we can bring Zephyr back in some other game, and you've always got him in your back pocket now.
Yes.
Assuming he survives. Mwahaha. Emily, how are you?
That got me. Hi, I'm Emily. I use she, her pronouns. I also, my character uses she, they pronouns. I play Zenda. And I'm also sad to see this come to a close. But now I can play all the time. Now I have a character. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And we're about to be in the same place, working together for a little while. And so maybe we'll have to play a little bit while we're up in that place that we're going. All right. So that is our team for today. We are unfortunately missing Kyle, who usually plays Merrick. Merrick's pronouns are they, them. They are the party wizard, the moody kind of they're not great with people, we'll just say that. But we are missing them today. Merrick will be around, unfortunately Kyle will not, but we love and miss Kyle. So, housekeeping before we get started with our, what is sure to be a rather involved recap. But first, we want to quickly shout out some of the awesome sponsors and supporters that we have here at the Greyhawk channel. First and foremost, we want to thank all of you who have either subscribed to the Twitch channel here and or joined our Patreon at patreon.com/thegreyhawk channel. As you are probably all aware, we do so very much here on the Greyhawk channel, and none of that would be possible. Certainly not nearly as much of that would be possible without your support. Next, we want to thank Roll20. We're not going to be using their tabletop in terms of maps today, but you will see our roles that we are using in Roll20 showing up on the screen today. The Greyhawk channel is officially supported by Roll20, the world's leading virtual tabletop. You can try out their services for free at roll20.net. We also have an official battle map sponsor. Heroic Maps has more than 300 maps available on DriveThruRPG, so you can go check those out by going to DriveThruRPG.com and searching for Heroic Maps. We're also sponsored by Tabletop Loot. You can go to tabletoploot.com and use the coupon code GREYHAWK, that's GREYHAWK, to get 15% off your dice order. And last but most certainly not least, we want to thank Devin Rue and Cantrip Candles for their support. Our Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers get access to exclusive coupon codes to use on their websites, so you can check out everything that they have available at their respective sites, rueinc.com, RUEINK, and cantripcandles.com. As you all are also no doubt aware, we've got some bars at the bottom of the screen. We have a season follower goal of 400 new follows, and we are up to 390. We are so close. This is our finale. Most of the channel has a few weeks left in the season, so there is time. But hey, let's help them get to 400 during our stream today. If you haven't already, click the little heart at the top of the screen on Twitch so that you can follow the Twitch channel here. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you should follow our YouTube channel as well, so that you can easily find the video on demands of all of the great shows that we have here on the Greyhawk channel. We also have a stream boss. I need to look and see who it is right now. It is Paladin Hulk at the moment. Paladin Hulk has a mere 300 HP remaining. If you follow or donate or cheer or do any of those great things, you take HP away from the stream boss, and if you are the lucky person to defeat the stream boss, you become the next stream boss. So get on it. Let's destroy Paladin Hulk, even though they sound like such a good boy. Anyway, what else? Last but most certainly not least, Divine Inspiration Bar over there on the bottom right. over there on the bottom right. As you donate and do other things with the channel, the Divine Favor bar goes up. Once it hits 100%, the crew gets inspiration and auto successes and other great things to help them in their quest. So, if that happens, we will deal with that then. And yes, Silvertree, I did troubleshoot my new PC. Thank you very much. Also, I apologize for being a problem child last night on your channel. Anyway, great. That is all of the housekeeping that we have to do today. Now, since it's been almost a month since we got together with the Fraction faction, we should probably recap what's going on. Also, one of the Fraction faction who is here today was not here 3 weeks ago, so we should also let him know what's happening. Does either one of you ladies wish to give us a recap? Or at least start us off, because we're all going to have to do a part of this.
Sure thing.
Great.
Last time on the Brenton Files, the contract was finally translated. Merrick, not trusting Minnie, constantly had their Raven looking over her. Let's see, there was something about agreement crystal, right? There was the agreement crystal, so we went and searched the ruins of the house to try and find the crystal. We found what we thought the crystal might have been and some residue, which was ruby residue, I want to say. Ruby residue. But the actual crystal was not there, so we're like, well, that didn't work. Yeah, so 14, we found 14 gold, history town, retail something magic. Oh yeah, there we go. So Reese told us a little bit about the origin of the town. They said something about this area drew her father and the other patriarch, Archer Brenner, to the spot. Might be magical, don't know. Random casters have been drawn to the area over time, mostly just casters, some choose to stay. The family that left Brenton was the Reese family. I don't remember what that was. Cool. Merrick's research that he did separately, besides having his Raven get Minifay, was that they discovered that there were mines underneath the city. And the last time we were going to Minifay's, we saw that her place had been busted up a little bit, but mostly it's just like, so things were in disarray. She was missing, and the back door was open, and we saw like a figure run off. So we chased it, people in the air, people on the ground. There was a skill challenge. So I was wolf, and we saw the wolf run into a cavern, and then we ran into some were-rats who we managed to be like, hey, we don't really want to fight you. We want to fight the wolf. So if you move, we won't bob you. And they're like, cool, we're going to be going somewhere else. So we found Minnie K. She was in the cave. There was a woman and two men. The men turned into werewolves, so we were there with them. And then the woman tried to pretend like she was so shocked we were there, but we figured out she was mad, and then she transformed into a werebear, and we were in combat.
Yeah, everybody get that?
Returning to the next.
Great. Yes. Anything to add, Zenda?
No, just that we're in mid-fight. That I was invisible. That's all I remember.
Yes.
I was invisible. That's it.
All
and I did some pretty impressive knife kills.
You did.
While invisible. It's very proud.
Oh, that's right, because there were pounds, and you nixed those, and I give up.
I did.
This is my hair now.
A perfect recap. I adored that, Lambo, you can... Oh, I think you already have inspiration, but I would give you some if you didn't.
Okay. I don't actually remember. I don't know.
Okay, well, you have it now, one way or another, for
cool,
that delightful recap. Yeah, so you have... Minifay was... to get us into this exact moment, as Lambeau just said, Minifay was kidnapped. You all did a thrilling chase through the woods, found a cave system, went in, and are locked in combat with some were creatures. Now, 3 weeks ago, we were in the middle of combat. I do still have the initiative order. One of the people who was here playing that week is not here. One of the people who is not here that week is here now. So here's what we're going to do to resolve this combat. Also, you'd already killed at least... There were 2 werewolves, a wereboar, and 2 wolves. And you dispatched at least 2 of those creatures, if not 3 already, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. I know the 2 hounds were down, because Zinda took care of those, and then we might have downed 1 more. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Werewolf is definitely still up, though.
Werebore is definitely still up. So rather than going through and going through rounds of combat to get to what, let's be honest, at this point with 1 or 2 against 4 is a pretty foregone conclusion, let's just narrate and tell the story of the rest of this combat. So if you recall, the Werebore lady has just transformed. She attempted, as Lambeau said, to gore one of you, was not super successful, but she's getting pretty frantic. So somebody hop in, any of you hop in, feel free to narrate both the Werebore and your own actions and tell us how you get us a little closer to victory.
Oh boy. That's a fun thing. I'm still invisible, I believe. I think I have like a couple minutes left. And so I am not the closest to the Werebore, but I'm the only one she can't see. So I know that my first instinct would be to go around behind her, maybe on top of one of the cages, since I'm oh so little, to be able to get at her head with my knives.
I love that. So we're not going to be rolling for the combat things, but Zenda, as you go around and climb up on one of the cages, I would like you to make me, please, a wisdom perception check, if you
Certainly
don't mind.
Let me take a look at what my number is.
So while Zenda's doing that and climbing up on top of the...
8.
Climbing up on top of the... oh dear. On top of the cages and not seeing anything while she's up there. She is preparing to get at the Werebore's head. What are the rest of you doing?
That's going well.
So I imagine Lambeau, because I think she still had quite a few spells left, sort of in realizing like, oh, that's a Werebore. I can't deal with it. She's just frantically throwing magic missiles. Oddly in the shape of bacon, so I think she's just focused on bovine to fix.
I'm sorry, in the shape of what?
Bacon.
Bacon?
Great.
What does it look
Because,
like?
that won't make the Werewolf more angry.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's going to go well. All right, so just flinging off magic missiles. Yes, exactly. They are definitely catching the Werebore's attention. So she is going to head over towards Lambeau and try and close the distance. But Lambeau, having had the experience of running around the kitchen island from the pots and pans golem all of those weeks ago, is
Late
able
day,
to...
every day.
is able to stay out of reach. Zephyr, what are you up to during this fracas?
So,
Hey, thanks for the follow, Enmores.
what was I doing at the end there? Like, what was I doing last time?
You had just, I believe, dispatched one of the werewolves. I should also tell you that one of the things that Minnie Faye gifted you all with after you sort of figured out more information about that contract that you found at Dr. Ovid's, she gave you and Zenda some potions that can enchant your weapons.
Oh, yes. The 4 oils of magic weapon, a potion of healing, potion of mind control, and potion of vitality.
That's a good list, yes. So you
Now
had
I know
poured
that was
you'd poured one of the oils of magic weapon onto your weapon, which, much to the were creature's chagrin, meant that you could in fact harm them. They were a little overconfident about y'all and your weapons until that started happening.
So, I think to narrate things, Zephyr would probably go to the Werebore lady.
Yeah.
And in essence say, I don't wish to hurt you, but I will protect my friends any way possible, and just use my ability with a rapier to dispatch her as necessary.
Yeah, so she looks almost like she wants to, just... Obviously things have turned against her and are not good, but you do hear her sort of snarl out at one point, "It's too late. I signed the damn contract." And she continues to fight on. Zenda, you're up there on those cages, and now, unfortunately, I guess you all have the telepathy thing, so you can check in with each other, because I was going to say, yes. Unfortunately, at the moment, the Werebore is just chasing Lambeau around, and I imagine Zephyr is sort of following behind her, poking at her with the rapier, so it's quite the vision. Exactly. feel like it's pretty on brand for the Fraction faction. What can I say? So let's say that they lead her around. Hey, thanks for the follow, Samtastic. We are 8 away from our season follower goal. I'm loving this. As they sort of do this fun little combat train, they're gonna pass in front of the cages. And what do you do, Zenda?
Well, after I make a couple passes, I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, snap back to it. And I wait for Lambeau to pass, and then I jump at her, and I try to pull the same move that I did on the wolves and try to get her here.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, I said we weren't going to do combat rolls, so make me an acrobatics check instead.
Oh, dang it. Hold on, I got you.
I believe in you.
I do too. I super believe in you.
I've got a high acrobatics.
I know, this is a good one for you, so like, I'm doing my best to give you as much as I can.
And I still only got a 13. I swear I'm not doing this right.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. Zenda, you are able to jump and sink them in, but you sort of misjudge a little bit. So like one of them sort of goes into her shoulder, one into sort of her back. So it's not quite the kill shot that you hoped it was, but it definitely surprises the hell out of her, slows her down quite a bit. And with Zephyr giving her every opportunity to surrender, which she can't or won't do, you all are able to eventually dispatch her as well.
Zephyr is probably dancing a mournful waltz as he's like walking around and dodging and poking.
Sweet baby angel. I love it so much.
Lambo will go over to Minnie Faye, give her a check over.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. You go over, and, well, as you look over towards the cages where Minnie Faye is, you don't see her in the cage.
Minnie Faye, we got rid of the bad people. Where'd you go?
As you walk over, looking for her, hey, thanks for the cheer, Inwills, we appreciate it.
Inwills, woo!
As you approach the cage that you know Minnie Faye was in a minutes ago at most, seconds ago probably, you do in fact see something in the cage. You missed it because it's so tiny, but lying there, unconscious, in the center of the cage, is a tiny little pixie.
Hello? Oh, wait, you said unconscious.
I did, but I appreciate you saying hello anyway.
She probably would say hello anyway. Like, Lambo would try and, like, just try and, like, gently pick the, like, I don't know, maybe fall off some of her clothing, gently pick the pixie up.
Yes, how are you getting into the cage?
Can I not just walk into it, or no?
Wait, I have the keys.
Yes, I was just gonna say, it's closed and locked, but I know one of you has a key to it.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Still invisible? Or am I not invisible anymore?
Was it a greater invisibility or
It was greater.
It was greater, so you are probably at this point still invisible, yes. You got a few seconds left on it, sure.
I pick the keys off my belt and I wave them and you can only see the keys. And I'm like, I got them, wait. Toss them in the air so they're away from me. Yes. Like, I got it.
Okay.
And I toss them at you.
Okay. Thank you, Zenda. You're invisible again.
Get this off me.
Well, not outside of combat, maybe. So yeah. Open the cage with the
and mere seconds after the keys get tossed to you, Zenda appears and like anyway. Because it is a minute.
Know that.
No, of course not. No, I love it. Okay, so you open the cage, and you can pick up the little pixie. It fits in your hand. It's tiny.
Looking at Zephyr. Zephyr, you know anything about pixies?
I might be able to. I have some memories of it. If you can give me a moment, I can attempt to see what I can recall.
Well,
I'll take either Arcana or Nature, whichever is better for you. I think they're the same, but.
Yeah, they're both the same.
Okay.
It's too bad I don't have Bardic knowledge yet. I know nothing about fairies.
Oh no.
Oh, is Merrick still skulking around somewhere?
Yeah, Merrick is still around. Oh, yeah. So obviously, Merrick saw this chase train during this combat and sat out. They were definitely like,
I mean,
absolutely
I feel
not.
like that would happen.
Absolutely not. But yes, they are in fact still around. So would you like Merrick to see if they know anything about pixies?
Yes.
All
Kind of
right.
swing to Merrick. Would you be so kind as to tell me if you know anything about this?
Let me pop up Merrick's. We'll do an Arcana with Merrick because they're good at such things.
There we go.
All right. So Merrick knows a thing or two about the pixies. Let's see. So what sort of information would you like, Miss Lambeau?
The main thing Lambeau wants at this point is to be like, okay, is there any special care we need to take to like with Pixie? Is there anything like I should do? Like they don't eat honey? I don't know. Stuff like that.
Totally. So Merrick knows a couple of things. For one, Merrick knows that pixies are super fragile, so it probably wouldn't take much to knock a pixie out like this. But by the same token, it probably wouldn't take a ton to wake them up either. Other than that, just be real careful with them. Merrick does with a 20. Merrick also knows that pixies are known to shape change on occasion. But usually for fun, and so Merrick in their way sort of, gives you that fact without commenting upon it or assuming anything.
Of course. I'm just trying to figure out if I can use detect thoughts when somebody is asleep. I'm not sure.
That's a good question. I don't see why not. You will get their dreams rather than their like conscious thoughts as surface thoughts, but I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
What is the pixie?
I say that, but now I'm going to go actually look at the spell and see. For the duration, you can read the thoughts when you cast you can focus on, you can see if it has a... That you should be good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so let's see. I mean, traumatic experience. So I feel like the surface dreams that you get right away are sort of obviously through this pixie's eyes. But the pixie, like either the pixie is flying or is something. It is much taller than the pixie should be. And you see Minnie Faye's house. And you see the door sort of burst open in an extremely dramatic fashion. The back door burst open in a dramatic fashion, and these enormous, sort of impossible, dark shadow monsters come in, and the pixie screams and is sort of engulfed by the creatures in shadow. And variations on this sort of roll through. Some of them are in the cave, some of them are at a house, some of them are in the woods, but it's all sort of that theme.
All right. Looking at the pixie's outfit, do the clothes look similar to Minnie Faye's at all? Like just a miniature version, or do they look completely different?
The clothes look totally different.
Okay.
From what Minnie Faye was wearing, yeah.
All right. Well, I think Rambo will try and gently jostle the pixie to not hurt it, but kind of wake it up, like, Pixie, who may or may not be Minnie Faye.
Just
And after a few moments, the pixie does, in fact, stir and sort of hold her head and open one eye and look up and see you all and just heave a big sigh and go, well, shit.
Oh, it is Minnie Faye. Did anybody have money on Minnie Faye's Pixie? Anybody?
No, I didn't. But
They're betting on evil. Did anybody have Pixie?
no.
Merrick is disappointed that you haven't yet confirmed that Minnie Faye is evil, but still holding out hope.
Minnie is Minnie. So Minnie.
Yes.
Minnie.
I
Just a minute.
appreciate you getting me out. Could you put me down?
Oh, yeah, sure. No problem. Gently put down.
She sort of unstably sort of gets to her feet and takes a deep breath, and these little sort of rolled up wings on her back that you sort of maybe barely noticed before sort of unfurl. She takes a deep breath and they start flapping, and she sort of flies up to be at eye level with you all. And she clearly is quite tired, doesn't feel awesome, but she's okay for the moment. Oh, right,
I mean-
yes. She's somewhere between eye level for the talls and eye level for the little. So you're either looking up or down at her, but not as much as you would be if she was, anyway.
Thank God.
So, we killed the people who we assume kidnapped you.
She sort of like turns, does like a 360 of the room and sees the bodies and she goes, "Oh, yes you did. Oh, Zenda, clean your blades."
You're right. Sorry.
You mind telling us why they wanted to kidnap you? The picture thing is your business, honestly. Why do they want to kidnap you?
She looks rather grateful about the pixie thing being her business, but she does say, honestly, I'm not entirely sure. They brought me here without saying anything. They put me in here. She sort of flies over to the ruby crystal that was on top of the cage, which was pulsing and glowing throughout most of the combat, but now seems to have dimmed somewhat. And she says, I think perhaps it had something to do with this, though honestly I didn't have much of a chance to examine it from my condition, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, because the contract, because maybe since you were translating that contract, the devil or demon, I always forget which one is which, wanted it to, like, use its minion with its crystal, so where people probably took I'm going to guess it has something to do with that.
She sort of tries to take all that in and goes, yes, well, we got to the same conclusion, so yes, absolutely.
Is it okay to touch it?
I should think so. Give it a try.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Zena whips out a cloth and gives it to you.
Ah, thank you. Thank you, Zena. Wrap it up like that,
There
put a
you
little
go.
bow on it.
I was like, let's not risk that. Let's not do that. I don't like that.
I like it. Yeah, so you can grab it with the cloth, and it's a little bit warm to the touch, but other than that, no major issues.
So, do we just like smash demon crystals or what? Or devil, whatever.
Are you asking Minnie Faye or
Yes.
the room at large? Oh, she says, and there are 3 of them on the 3 cages. One on each of the cages, I should say. And
Now I'm more confused.
she says, the other 2 are dark, though. She says, I suppose we could. To be honest, I'm sort of curious about what it is and what it does, but yes, I suppose perhaps it would be safer if we simply destroyed it.
I mean, you're welcome to research it. You know, Merrick's gonna be watching you.
Merrick has not taken their eyes off of her since
not
she
one.
awakened.
Or maybe we could like smash the active one and you could study the inactive ones. I assume that's what the different colors mean.
I would agree with that. The other 2 seem dim and inert. Yes.
All right, cool. Oh, maybe it was drinking off your magical energy, which is why the other 2 were dim. Yeah, maybe that's why this one slid up. So it might have nothing to do with the demon at all, but it is also a ruby.
Are there people in the other 2 cages?
No.
Do we know? No. Okay, just checking.
No.
We just left them.
They're just hanging out.
Ah,
Sitting there.
yeah, why don't we hear? Well, you can study him. I don't know. That's not my forte. Goes in, gets cloth for the other 2, brings those as long as they come out easy enough.
Yeah, they do. They were. I mean, they were in little housings, but they weren't like secured in any major way.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess back to your shop. I guess.
She says, I suppose so. Where are the other 2? The 2 people, the 2 humans.
The who?
What 2 humans?
She zips over to the far left cage and she says, the 2 that were in here, did you rescue them?
No,
No.
we did not. There was nobody in there when we got here.
Oh, well, did you see them come out when you? How far behind me were you?
We were followed pretty close, honestly.
So
Like maybe there was a few minutes between us seeing you go and get taken into the cave and us getting to you.
But you didn't see them come out.
No, I mean
No?
we saw some were rats.
she sort of looks around and says, I assume you took care of them?
Yes, in a matter of speaking. Yes.
I'm not going to ask. You said yes, that's enough for me.
Enough.
Yep, exactly. So she says, that is concerning. I suppose, whatever you think is best. But at some point, we should perhaps look into the other two. I am concerned for their safety. I don't know what they had planned for me, but I assume those two are a little further down the path of whatever it was.
Odd. And in character, she basically asks, like, okay, were the same amount of people like that we fought there before, or maybe the two humans got turned into like one of the were people, essentially, is what.
So when she came in, there was let's see. She didn't see the were rats, so when she came in, there were two other people in this chamber that weren't in the cages.
Okay, and there was the lady and the other two people. But those were not the people. If she describes them, those were not the people in the cages.
No. She describes essentially the wereboar and one of the werewolves, and the person who brought her in, she describes as basically the other werewolf.
Yeah, I honestly, I got no idea. That is kind of concerning, though.
I think so.
Zendo, as this conversation is happening, starts to look around this cavern to the other side of the cages to see if there are any other ways in or out of this cave.
Sure, I'll take a wisdom perception check.
Okay.
Or intelligence investigation. Maybe is that better for you? Since we're not the perception crew.
Not investigation. Perception.
Perception is better. Okay, yeah.
It's actually better, which is strange.
You're the only one where I think it is better.
Low bar, but
low bar. Oh, 17.
Okay. All right. So you do, in fact, find a somewhat oddly colored sort of stone slab behind and a little bit to the side of the cages. And you sort of run your hands along it and realize that it actually quite easily slides to one side.
Hey, guys.
Yeah?
I found a door. Do y'all want to... I want to go in and see if the people are still in there. So,
all right.
Who's got a light? Who's got a light?
She'll like light up something that you're wearing. I don't know.
Perfect.
There you go. And beyond, once you open it all the way beyond the slab, you can see sort of a short little stone-hewn hallway. And then quite soon after that, you see stairs descending downward, because that's what descending means. It's word day.
They could be descending in quality upwards.
You are correct. I fall upstairs all the time, so what's that?
That doesn't happen, Jess.
More often than that. All right,
yes,
so
exactly.
Zenda takes we'll say it's one of her claws that you lit,
yep,
and starts going in to the hallway towards the stairs.
I think Lem will go ahead and follow behind.
Perfect.
Merrick will begrudgingly go if Zephyr goes.
Yeah, Zephyr will say, we should certainly go in a group. I would hate to have gone through all of this trouble only to get hornswoggled any further into this tunnel.
Hornswoggled.
Like hornswoggled.
Hornswoggled, yes.
Not enough people say that word.
That is true. That is true. Bring back Hornswoggle.
That's the name of today's episode. Bring back Hornswoggle.
Oh, yep. Writing it down. Bring back Horn. Is that 2 G's? That's 2 G's.
You know
I
it.
think 2 G's.
Amazing. Amazing.
You don't want to be hornswaggled.
That's right. No, we're not swaggling. That sounds like a dance move. All right. We're gonna make that up when we go to do this show. We're gonna have to pass through the
Absolutely.
Hornswaggle. All right.
Absolutely.
So Minnie Faye also agrees to go with you all. She's pretty concerned. She didn't really get a good look at who the two humans were, but she can only imagine that they're, townspeople from Brenton, and she feels somewhat responsible for the town,
Sure.
even though she wouldn't probably ever admit that outright.
Lambo will offer Minnie Faye that she can sit on her shoulder instead of having a flap. Since
she's like, oh, I'm fine, and flaps for like 15 feet, and then is like, no, on second thought, I am very tired, and sits on your shoulder.
Very sleepy. Okay, so I'm gonna lead the way down the stairs for some reason.
She is also, Minnie Faye is also, though, once she settles on your shoulder, she is going to say, don't worry, I am here, but considering how easily they captured me last time, I think perhaps it is better if I... and she closes her eyes and vanishes.
Cool. All right.
Oh dear.
Anybody else have second thoughts? Anyone? Anyone else a little concerned about that?
You were just invisible a few minutes ago.
No, you're right. You're right. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm just starting to feel like Merrick and starting to not trust Minnie.
Oh. Merrick just nods knowingly when you ask if anyone has second thoughts. They're just like,
Zephyr may peek back and see if she popped back into the same cage, maybe.
Oh no, sorry, maybe I wasn't clear. Lambeau, you still feel her on your shoulder.
Oh yeah, no, yep.
Okay.
Lambeau still just says yep and keeps going.
Yep.
I definitely thought she just like pooped and went away.
Oh no. She's there. She's just invisible because she has 1 hit point.
Lambeau has telepathy. She doesn't care.
Right. Absolutely.
Who knows?
Absolutely.
Zenda's in the dark literally all the time. It's fine.
I love it. I love everything about it. Really good. All right. So you all head down the stairs. The stairs spiral down and down. Eventually, after a while of descending, the walls of the spiral staircase go from being just sort of excavated stone and earth to having fitted stone blocks and actual masonry, and it becomes clear that you're descending into something that is oh boy.
Oh. Sorry.
That's okay. Something that is well constructed. Let me just real quick get rid of that. There we go. All fixed. So you head down, and it becomes more and more hewn stone, more and more well constructed. You eventually begin to see sconces on the walls that hold small torches, and the torches are each lit with a flame that is a little redder than flame should be, sort of casting a red glow on the rest of the staircase. They don't seem to really be giving off heat, though they do give off light, and they're spaced evenly enough that just when the light of one torch begins to give out, the light of the next one down the staircase, the light of the next one down the staircase becomes visible, so you're sort of passing into stripes of light and darkness. And you descend for what seems like a very long time, until finally, eventually, the staircase lets out on a long hallway that has several doors, stone doors on either side of it, and sconces with more torches, sort of again evenly spaced, just a little too far apart, going down this hallway.
Zenda, still leading the front, looks back at Lambo and points to her head, meaning listen to what I'm saying.
She's listening.
And I think very loudly, okay, who wants to pick the door? I'm not picking the door. Which door do we go into?
That one.
Great.
Yeah.
So
Zenda.
she won't say that out loud, but she will point.
Oh, right.
Amazing.
So Zenda, feeling like she's like doing combat, is like sending signals, and people are probably just rolling their eyes at me, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I love everything
It
about
goes
it.
to the door.
I think Merrick might like stifle a laugh.
They better, because I am trying to win them over.
You've won them over enough to get them to at least try to stifle it.
Right.
As time was, they would have just laughed.
That is progress.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna open which one did we choose? The one to the left, we'll say. That one?
Yes.
The first one on the left.
Left it out.
When in doubt, left it out. I'm gonna open the door.
Such a good title too.
I'm scared.
You open this door, and the room is completely suffused in a deep, sort of blood red hue. You see on the other side of this door, you see workbenches and tables covered mostly in papers. There are a few what might be like, I don't know, alchemical supplies and equipment and things, but clearly this is more of a paper pushing type room. On the far end of the room, however, are a couple of very noticeable things. There is a great big stand that holds an enormous floor-to-ceiling, which is a good, 7-8 feet up. Floor-to-ceiling, what looks like polished metal, highly polished metal, reflective and polished. It's a mirror. And at the top of this mirror inset is another one of those red ruby crystals, and this one is glowing something fierce. And that is the blood red glow that is lighting this entire room. There are no torch sconces. There's no other source of light in the room. But this crystal, this ruby, is letting off enough of this blood red glow to to fully light the room, completely, if somewhat eerily.
So this is all like just mentally, just like, so who votes to immediately destroy that thing from afar? I'll trust it, man.
Zenda is not hearing much. She's very entranced by this and is walking very slowly towards the mirror.
Okay, that's
wanting to examine it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, good.
Very badly. I'm like, huh? Thinking,
Merrick stifles another laugh.
Lembo's just holding the magic missile ready.
Just, you can see the little darts like poking out of her hand, just waiting.
They look like little caution signs.
How about you, Zafir? Oh, we can't hear you, my dear.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, it's a production.
I'm sorry, yes.
That's okay.
But that being said, I will be getting ready ranged weaponry, which I think at this point is throwing dagger. So if I need to throw a dagger at this thing, I will be ready to do so.
I love
Doesn't
it. Okay.
Look at everybody like, no one wants to explore this? No one wants to look at this?
Hell no.
Actually, Merrick is like doesn't want to admit it, but they're super curious too. I mean, they are a wizard after all.
That's fair. That's totally in character.
I would like to go examine the mirror without, if possible, without touching it and without looking at my reflection in it. Something tells me I should not look into it, but I just want to look around it.
Okay, so wait. So you're not looking into it at all, or you're not looking at yourself in it?
I'm not looking at myself in it.
So like from the side, you could look and like not get. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, okay. yeah. I'm not trying to like stare into my eyes in this red glowing mirror. No, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
it
doesn't sound.
That would be absurd. All right,
crazy.
Okay, make me. I'll take wisdom perception, as we have already established. That is your better of the two checks.
That's the other reason to not go near the mirror. Like, what are you gonna see? I can't see my own reflection. Oh, there you go.
Holy shit, you see everything. And you see things. All right.
Yes.
So, there are a few things that you notice when you get over there. One is that there is a little, what to call it? There's a little, like, cover or a little piece of dark metal that is sort of that is slotted in between the mirror and where the crystal is right now. So the light of that the crystal is coming out is obviously hitting the mirror and being reflected in, but not directly, right? There's something that's keeping the contact from happening. You see so much. You see so much. You do also see that there is a little like switch or lever or something that can move that piece of metal away and out so that the crystal would be in more direct contact with the mirror. In terms of what?
It's a tarp.
Yeah. It is so looking at the mirror itself, it is definitely not reflecting the room. It appears to be It appears to be actually make me an intelligence history check if you would. See how well you recognize what's in the mirror, or if you do.
7.
Speaking of what that was. It looks like the interior of some building that is not the building that you are currently in, that you can see in the mirror. And it's currently empty. There's no one that you notice in there.
Has anyone attempted to touch the mirror?
Not as far as I'm aware. Zenda very specifically wanted to examine without touching. Examine with her eyes.
Yes. So I haven't yet. Who wants to touch it?
Zafir is curious about going up, and he'll look at his companions first, but go up and touch the mirror.
Touch the mirror. Make me a... where is it? Oh, hold on, I'm on the wrong page. There we go. Make me a charisma saving throw, if you would.
Yeah.
I do want. It's a good thing that's my best save.
I was going to say, this is definitely the party for this, between you and Lambeau. Not so much for Zenda, but...
16.
All right. So you feel yourself being sort of pulled towards and perhaps even into this mirror, but you steel yourself and you are able to sort of resist the pull. You do, however, excuse me, see sort of shadows is the best way to describe them. Shadows in the image in the mirror begin to stir. It's a strange thing, though, because the shadows look to be separate from whatever that room is, right? It's almost as if the shadows are somehow on the metal or the mirror itself, not in whatever's being reflected. And they do start to just slightly sort of stir and swirl.
So I wouldn't recommend anyone else doing that.
Yeah, no kidding.
That has
taken you can learn in books. I don't trust it.
Okay, but real talk for just a quick second. Would Merrick do it now?
I think so.
Uh-oh.
I think they might, but don't they also have magic hands?
They would ask why.
Right.
Yes, you're correct. That is what they would do first. They would ask why.
Yes, they would ask why, and then don't they have the magic hand?
They do have mage hand. That's true.
Yeah, mage hand. Yeah. So I feel like if anything, they would ask why, and then be like, ugh, and then use mage hand.
Okay, I like that. So let's go with first. Right? They just say, ugh, why?
This thing attempted to suck me in, and I presume that it will do the same to you.
All right, yeah, I think they'll mage hand it. So little invisible hand will float over and touch it, and nothing happens at that point.
Oh,
well, it seems fine to me.
Merrick, do me a favor.
Fine.
Merrick, see that little slab of metal up there underneath the... Use your mage hand and pull that out. See what that does.
Do we all think this is a good idea? This is what we're going with?
I just want to know.
Zephyr is going to add, if you want to test it with the most safety in mind, you could always try and have Lazarus touch it with his beak.
Oh,
poor Lazarus.
It's why Lazarus exists. I mean, if you didn't want to.
Lazarus also has a mental link with Eric. I feel like that has consequences. Not necessarily, but possibly.
If we didn't want to have a continually resurrected familiar, we shouldn't have called the familiar Lazarus.
You know, that is 100% true. Lazarus, go touch it.
I like that. But we should all maybe step away from it. Maybe we go back towards the door and let
Lambo never stepped closer to it in the
Yeah, I was
first
gonna
place.
say, Lembo is for sure still like turtle heading the magic missiles at the door.
I don't like
Turtling. Oh my god.
They just keep poking out the shell, looking around, waiting for their chance. Anyway.
That's,
oh my god.
Oh,
A whole mess. All right. Yes, all right. So Lazarus will fly over. Oh, blessed be. Poor Lazarus. So Lazarus is a what? A raven?
I want to say.
Yeah,
All right.
I think so.
What's a raven's charisma modifier? Oh, it's a solid -2. All right.
very nice.
Kablam.
20.
It's really rolling. Oh, okay. So Lazarus goes over, sort of clearly huffy about this, taps his beak on the mirror, sort of turns around and gives like a little bird shrug, and then it's quite horrifying, sort of like lengthens as he is sucked into the mirror. And if you are looking in the mirror, you can see Lazarus's reflection sort of appear on the floor of the room in whatever that room is that's being projected into the mirror. And Lazarus sort of looks around, very confused for a moment, and then those shadows that seem to be on the mirror but not in the room begin to swirl and churn and converge upon Lazarus, and there's a dark spot that sort of blacks out and blocks out the view of Lazarus, and when the dark spot clears, you see just a pool of blood around Lazarus that slowly begins to disappear, as almost as if it's being sort of sucked up as Lazarus, being the familiar that he is, begins to discorporate, and his corpse begins to discorporate and disappear, like it does when he dies. And Merrick, I don't know. I think Merrick's pissed, but more because like you all suggested it. more than actually about Lazarus himself.
I would like to revisit the idea of destroying that thing from afar and leaving.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should try your idea now.
I just want to point out that could have been you, Merrick. That's the reason not to touch the mirror.
Yeah.
Is there anything else of interest in this room besides the mirror?
There's like papers and some, sort of journally looking books and things all around the workstations in the room, yeah.
I'd probably like pick up a journal, not read it necessarily, but like stick it away like, investigate later. Whatever.
And for later.
Alright, well, I would like to leave the creepy mirror alone, and I suggest we go to the other room.
Merrick says, but what about the little piece of metal that Zenda wanted me to play with?
Why do we have to touch that? We could just leave it be.
Yeah, maybe we should just leave it be now. I don't know.
Zenda.
Zenda's losing her confidence and excitement about this mirror very quickly.
It's like mirror killed Lazarus. I'm ready to leave it the hell alone.
She really likes Lazarus, the Lazarati. So anytime one of them gets hurt, she's very sad.
Merrick sort of quirks an eyebrow all of a sudden, because I imagine like they were facing the mirror, and I guess Lambeau, you would be facing it too, actually. But the other two of you are turned back, sort of talking. Merrick quirks an eyebrow and sort of turns his head a little bit, and Lambeau, you see this as well. Looks like someone is walking into the room that is being projected or reflected or whatever in the mirror.
Yeah, which is not this room.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, in the mirror, yeah.
Yes, okay. Apparently someone wants to come investigate the bird blood.
By this point, the bird blood has all been sucked away. But the person...
previous bird blood.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you all give me intelligence history checks, please?
All right, intelligence history. Yeah, let's make up already.
Yeah, we
No.
I got a 12
for Xander.
History, you say?
I
Okay.
do. Ah. All right. 17 for Lambeau and 11 for Zephyr. So, Lambeau, you for sure recognize the person in the mirror because this is one of your customers at your fortune telling booth. It's the old man who wanted the aphrodisiac.
Yes. Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's all coming back.
He has walked into this room. That's yes. He has walked into the room and is looking around and sort of, as you postulated, looks like he maybe heard something or something. Looks like he's looking for something and can't seem to find it in the room.
She's trying to figure out whether it's better to say something out loud or not. You know what? No, she's impulsive. Just like, so how'd that stuff I gave you work out, buddy?
Oh, I wish he could hear you.
through the mirror. Yes.
I wish he could hear you. But
I
sadly,
wanted to see if he could.
Yeah, I know. I wish he could, because that's a conversation I want to have. But
Yeah.
but he cannot, so he does not respond to your voice at all, and he continues to sort of look around, coming further into the room.
Zenda's in front of the mirror doing this to see if there's any way if he can see us. It's a little.
Doesn't seem to give any indication that he notices you all, orally or visually.
Huh.
Okay, so
Is Lambo still by the door?
Oh yeah.
I'm now
Oh.
conflicted.
Uh-huh.
I want to know the heck's going on.
I still really want to pull that slab out, but I'm really scared to know what happens when we do.
Oh, I gotta know,
Can
Mary.
we attach a rope to it and then
Pull the
pull it
slab.
And just,
from
we could do
outside
that.
the room?
Can we do that? Can we yank it around outside? Tie it to the door.
I mean,
Door
it's
shows
not.
pulling teeth.
The crystal is maybe the size of like 2 fists, right? It's like maybe this big. So the slab of metal is not very big. I mean, it's maybe, a disc this size. Well, it's not really a disc, it's more like an oval, but this size around. So you certainly could. I think rope is a little bit overkill, but maybe like twine or string or something. But that would, of course, definitely require at least some contact with the.
I say we go back towards the door and let Merrick mage hand it and pull it out. Anybody else for that idea?
I'm here already, so
Is it close enough for Mage Hand?
Mage Hand is 30 feet.
I think it's 30 feet.
So, yeah, I don't know that Merrick can be totally out of the room because it's a pretty big room. But they can definitely be very close to the door. Within like maybe 10 feet of the door.
sure, we'll do that.
Let's do that. Okay.
So Zephyr will, it's been a while, but Zephyr will say, Merrick, if it were not for your stern attitude and inquisitive nature, this group would be sunk. Please do your best. Bardic Inspiration.
Don't fuck up. Amazing. Merrick doesn't know how to take a compliment, so they awkwardly walk towards the door.
That's
That's
appreciation enough.
Yep. All right, so you all head out of the room. Merrick is there about 10 feet in front of you all in the room, 30 feet from the mirror itself. Conjures Mage Hand, heads over, pulls the strip of metal out, and immediately, yes, Lambeau, before immediately occurs.
No.
Okay.
She's just
I see. She's pulling. Yes. Immediately, as it gets pulled out of the way of the crystal, and sort of the circuit is closed, as it were, there is a sort of ripple of a red across the mirror. It looks almost like water, like waves, ripples, like something was dropped in a pond of water, and those shadows begin to stir and swirl, and you see them start to coalesce into sort of humanoid shapes. And at first, you think that again, from where you're standing, it looks like again they're on the mirror, not in the room. But pretty quickly, as they begin to take form, you realize that is not exactly the case, because the man in the mirror, damn it, because the dude in the reflection clearly sees them as well, and though you cannot hear him, it's quite obvious that he is paralyzed with fear for a moment before he begins to scream.
Back.
Attempt to run.
While all this is happening, Zenda has creeped back into the room and grabbed the back of Merrick's robes and pulled them backwards out of the rooms.
Oh.
So they're not able to put it back.
Right, I was going to say exactly. So you've pulled them back, and you see Merrick's trying, sort of reaching their arm forward, and you can't see the mage hand, but if you could, you would see it doing the same thing at the mirror, just not quite able to reach. While this is happening, you see the forms take the shadows take the shape of what are clearly cloaked humanoids, and one of them grabs the gentleman on the other side of the reflection.
Oh no! Sorry, dude.
What are you doing?
Crap.
Zephyr, I don't know if this is going to help, but Zephyr's going to cast light to see if that will help dispel these shadows.
So as you cast light, it's the first time that you haven't sort of seen through this dark room red light, right? Like that's what this whole room looked like. So it lights that up a little bit. It's sort of definitely messes with your dark vision, but that's not what I mean. Like vision in the dark, do you know what I mean?
Right.
Your pupils dilate very quickly or contract very quickly. But it doesn't at this point seem to have any effect on the shadows, the creatures in that reflection, as one of them is holding the man, and another takes his hair and yanks his head to one side.
Stop.
I kind of want to run in and shoot an arrow at it and see if it'll go through the mirror and hit one of the bad things. Can I do that?
You can do whatever you want. It's D&D, baby.
Can I try that?
You sure
See
can.
if that happens?
Roll me an attack roll for your crossbow.
Oh,
I think since Lambeau was holding magic missile, probably launch that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll up damage for that, and it's short bow, not crossbow. I forgot.
Short bow, yeah.
Because it's been. So
which one do I do? There are two of them on here. It's been a while.
Not the +1 one, because that's if you the +1 weapons are if you pour the oil that I gave you. I just put it in there so the numbers would be there.
For the people watching who are under 25, a dark room is you have to 4 digital cameras. You would have to take the actual physical film and process it with chemicals in a dark room, otherwise it wouldn't work. So if you remember those parts in Stranger Things where they'd open the door and the light, that's why they were getting mad.
I saw such an upsetting Tumblr thread about how there were people who were very confused about those scenes in Stranger Things.
Yes. That's so upsetting.
I was so upset.
Upset.
All right. So Zenda, what'd you get on yours?
Oh, sorry. What did I get?
Is that 14? 18. Okay, 18. Great.
Wait, is that me? No, 14. No, sorry.
All right, so you got a 14. So the arrow strikes the mirror, but sort of clangs off and doesn't seem to have any effect. Holy gods! I didn't realize it was a 3rd level magic missile.
Ooh. This is a customer. I care.
I'm choking.
Obsessed. Amazing. This does, so these, and you're shooting it at the mirror, correct?
Yes, at the mirror.
Yeah. So these darts definitely do have an effect. You hear them almost clang and ping, and clearly the figures in the mirror hear this, because they all sort of flinch, and it causes them to stop for a moment what they're doing. But it doesn't affect them. Dents and cracks appear in the mirror itself, but the figures inside seem unaffected, though they did hear whatever it was. I should write that damage down because reasons.
She's just trying to figure out, is it better to, like, you're kind of sort of like, is it better to then take the second shot at the crystal or again at the mirror? Like, does breaking the mirror hurt them or breaking the crystal hurt them? That she's not sure about. But so she's cast her spell for the round, essentially.
Okay. So at this point, Zephyr, was there anything that you would like to do as your friend shoot things at the mirror?
Well, it seems like... Shoot.
Yes, that's what they did.
How many of these shadow things are there?
There are 3.
Okay. Oh, Zephyr is going to give a heavy sigh, as I just did, and look to his companions and say, I don't want this man's death on my conscience, and he's gonna run into the mirror.
I almost did that, but I'm like, nope, she has a spell holding. All right.
Okay. We're doing this. We're doing this.
Shit,
Here we go.
Some stats. Hold on. All right, actually, no, I don't. Here we go. So, Zephyr runs into the room, touches the mirror, presumably chooses to fail any charisma save that I now give him the chance to make. And you watch, and it's significantly more disturbing on a person than it was on the Raven. You watch Zephyr sort of be like taffy, lengthen and be pulled into the mirror. And after a few moments, you see Zephyr standing in the room with these 3 figures and the man, and they all sort of start and look to him, and that's where we're going to take a break.
All right.
Oh, no!
We will... Problems. I know you hate me so much, and I love it. We will... We'll be back in about 10-ish minutes or so to find out what happens. I don't know. This is all very exciting. We'll see you all soon. Get some water. Stay hydrated. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you soon. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. We are back for part 2 of this afternoon's episode of the Brenton Files, Monsters and Myths. Why am I so... Oh, yes. Very excited to... I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit. There we go. Very excited to get back. I'm going to turn my light on. Hold on. There we go. I was not prepared to start the stream. Here we go. Y'all. Whatever. Zephyr ran into a mirror with some creepy shadows and an old man. Let's see what happens. All right, so
Yep.
Zephyr has run in. They have seen him. He has seen them. Lambeau and Zenda, you tell me what you all are doing. Because just a moment ago, Zephyr was next to you, and then he took off running for the mirror. So what are the two of you doing?
I mean, that's our friend.
Merrick's like, strong word.
That's our companion.
I'll take that.
We can't just let him do this by himself. Don't mind the slip of accent earlier.
Girl, I do it all the time with my NPCs.
I say we go in after him.
Merrick sighs and starts walking forward.
Although if you can you mage hand that crystal off the top? We'll see if that does anything.
Yeah, as he's walking, Merrick will try, and it seems like it may not be impossible to get out, but it's housed and sort of held in place,
Okay.
at least to the extent that the mage hand can't get it out.
Fine. Go through. This is going to be great. TPK. TPK.
It's one way to end the season. All right, so Merrick is going, Lambeau is going, Zenda.
Well, Zenda reached out for their hands, hoping that we were all going to hold hands and go in together, and they all walked away. So I was like,
okay.
And then
Look, she's below eye level. Sometimes you just miss
I was
it.
like,
Couldn't see your hand.
Right.
I reach up and I go. I follow and I go with you guys.
Amazing. Okay, let's everybody please roll initiative.
Oh, good. Oh, only good things will happen now.
Only good things happen when the DM calls for initiative.
Hey!
All right. I'm so I love... Oh, and the audience can see them now because I have the Roll20 numbers in the layout, so they can see your... I'm so fast for your initiative, Lambeau. All right, a 17 for Lambeau, a 26 for Zenda. Good grief.
I sure hope you're going first.
Good Lord, always. I hate it.
Let's see. Yeah, well... let's see. Merrick's at a +2.
I apologize. I'm still getting Roll20 back up, but I've got a 16.
Right. You've got a what now?
A 16.
A 16. All right, Lambeau, you'll go before Merrick. Zephyr is a 16. And let's find out what our little friends are at. They are at a +3. So they're at a 14.
Knowing that we were going to go in, like the people who don't have magic weapons, I'm assuming if they needed, they could re-oil up.
They could. The oil lasts for an hour.
Oh, okay. So
and I think they're still. I think we're coming up on the last 10 minutes or so, but they're still good at this point.
Okay, wanted to make sure.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Zenda, so the three of you who stayed behind will join us in round 2. So for round 1. Zephyr, you do have the drop on them, as they are rather surprised to see someone else come through into the room. So what are you going to do? You see them now, and you see... you see the three of these cloaked, hooded figures have just unnaturally, deathly white faces, long, unkempt black hair, and one of them has turned to snarl at you, and as they snarl, you see unusually long and sharp canines jutting from their upper jaw.
All right, so Zephyr will say, unhand him. Your trouble is with me now. And he'll go up and stab one of them.
Great. So there's one that is holding...
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, exactly. There's one that's holding the man, one that has grabbed the man's hair and pulled his head to the side, and one that is thus far uninvolved with said man in the mirror.
I'll stab the one that is grabbing his hair.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, do it. Absolutely.
That is going to be a 15.
15 does hit.
And let me see. 8 damage.
8.
Although I think we were just talking about it. Does the weapon still have the bonus?
Yes.
And it's a +1?
I believe so. Yes, indeed.
Then 9 damage.
Fantastic. All right. All right. So it sort of cries out, and I will say that this one is rather surprised and does let go of the man's hair, so his head is able to, get back into place, but he's still held by the other one. Anything else on your turn, Lambeau? Sorry, Zephyr. I was looking at Lambeau's character sheet.
Let me think. Actually, Zephyr will look at the man, the old man, and say, "I'm here, and I will not let any harm come to you," and give bardic inspiration to him, should he need it.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, we can work with that. Cool. Okay. So the one that is holding him just sort of dragged him over, but doesn't have a solid grasp on him. So he's going to try and properly grapple the man, and the man will now have a bit of something to go with his attempt to resist the grapple. So let's see. Despite the help of Zephyr's inspiration and inspiring words, the man is sort of unable to resist this creature's grasp, and he writhes and wriggles, but the man is held fast, and this one creature that is there next to him sort of takes one hand and on his own just pushes the man's head to the side and begins to lower his mouth to the man's neck. At that moment, the other two creatures are going to begin to move over to and try to flank, not that has any mechanical advantage, flank our friend Zephyr here. One of them will attempt to grab you, Zephyr. Does a 13 hit you?
A 13 should not, if I'm not mistaken.
Then they're going to angrily just swipe at you with their claws after they try and grab you and miss. So they're just swiping with their claws, but a 9 is going to miss you as well. The other one will try to do the same on the other side of you. First try and grab you, but a 10 is going to miss. Welcome to my Roll20 rolls, y'all. And so this one, too, will angrily try and claw at you for an 18 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Okay. So the claws rake across your face, dealing 8 points of slashing damage, but that is the extent of the damage done to you at this point. Then, just as you recover from the recoil of being slashed by this creature's claws, you hear soft thuds as your 3 friends drop into the room as well, and we are at the top of the round with Zenda. You see the scene in front of you, the one man with the creature bending over its neck and the other two flanking your friend Zephyr.
All right, I am going to try to hit. How far away am I from the? How close is?
Easily within a move. All of them.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Then I'm going to take out my rapier since it is still coated with that oil, and I'm going to go for the one that is aiming for the man's neck.
Yeah.
Is what I'm gonna do.
Yep, and this one you will use the +1 numbers.
+1? Mm-hmm. Great. Sorry, my computer's being...
That's okay. Yeah. So Zenda, just on instinct, draws the rapier, goes running over, but the creature swats aside her rapier blade, hearing her coming, and focuses back on the man's neck. Anything else on your turn, Zenda?
Nope.
Okay. Next up is Merrick. Oh, Lord, I don't know.
I thought I went before Merrick.
You are correct. You go before Merrick. Lambeau.
Okay. Lambeau, thudding, seeing the customer in danger. Last whatever level I cast it out before, magic missile.
Yeah. All right. This is the one that's holding the man?
Yeah, the one holding the man.
Yep.
19.
Ooh, and 5 darts of energy that previously clanged against the mirror now sink into this creature with dull thuds. Strangely, the creature seems to recoil, but where you might expect a gasp or an exhalation of air, there is none, as these creatures seem not to need to breathe.
Did he let him go, maybe, from the pain?
That's a good question. Let's find out. With my rolls, props. Nope.
All right, so just after doing that, she'll just yell. And these missiles actually just look like actual darts.
Uh-huh.
And she'll basically just shout, "When you mess with my customers, your future is dim, buddy."
Oh, that's such a good line.
I love that.
Oh, man. Hang on. I feel like Merrick's spell slots are not entirely up to date in D&D Beyond.
Possibly not.
Okay, let's see. In the fight before, definitely did at least one of those. Alright, well, as much as I hate to admit it, I think they are probably still capable of summoning demons, which seems to be their go-to in combat.
It is. It is their go-to.
Okay, are we gonna summon?
Summer.
Are we gonna summon a greater demon or a couple of lesser demons, y'all?
I think a couple of lesser demons.
Okay.
Because the demons do not obey him, and I'd rather deal with lesser demons.
That is true. And in summoning these demons to attack the vampires, there is every possibility that they are going to eat that man.
Yeah.
Right.
Merrick for sure would not care about, but there we go. All right, so 2 demons of CR 1 or lower, 4 demons of 1/2, or 8 of 1/4.
Let's go 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. We are meant to roll on this table, which I'm going to give Kyle shit for. Because then it for sure says, roll on the following table to determine what appears. The little shit.
Oh, yeah, just exciting.
That fine print, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, so a 3 is 4 demons of CR 1/2 or lower. Oh, I'm so mad at them. I'm not actually. All right, let's see. These are fiends of CR 1/2 or lower. I won't go to CR 0 because that would be shitty. Oh, something called a cackler sounds like fun.
Sure.
Oh yeah, these are horrible. Oh, it's a demon. Shit. Oh no, these are summoned demons, not devils. So yes, that's what we're using. Hooray! Welcome to the cackler. All right, so these 4 just horrifying looking creatures with these curly horns and long spiky tails, red scales all over their bodies, appear sort of right near the gaggle of vampires, and gaggle is definitely their collective noun, just so we know. Hostile to all creatures, roll initiative for the summoned demons. All right, they have a +3 as well to their initiative. Great. So they'll go in a little while. Merrick, that was Merrick's turn. So Zephyr, you are up.
All right, Zephyr will defiantly continue to attack these creatures.
Absolutely. Which one are you going for? One of the ones that's flanking you, or a different one? Also, beware of the demons.
Am I to do all of them, or am I only adjacent to 2 of them?
You're currently only adjacent to 2 of them.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attack the one that I had attacked before.
Okay, great.
If he's still adjacent.
Totally.
And we are looking at a total of 24, not quite a natural 20.
All right, that'll most certainly do.
All right, now D8 plus 3, 4, 6 damage.
All right, that is this one. All right, so that one does score a good hit, and again, this creature sort of snarls at you, and saliva drips down one of their elongated canines as they look at you both angrily and hungrily. Anything else on your turn, Zephyr?
No.
All right. The creatures take their turn. Since the 2 of them are still near to you, Zephyr, one of them is going to try once again to grab you. Let's see how it goes. Schmat. How about a 10? Oh, for heaven's sake. All right, so they angrily will once again simply claw at you. And accidentally bite themselves with their fang. The other one tries to grab you as well. A 12. Mother of God. And then tries to claw you. Okay, but it's always this one. It's always this one, and it's always the second try. They just have to warm up. They have to warm up. All right. No, it's 2 of those. So they do score another claw, this time sort of across your shoulder. And this one does 8 more points of damage to you.
All right, noted.
The remaining creature that is holding now, wrapped tightly in his embrace,
Come on, I hit him. Come with me. Come with me. Hit him.
lowers his mouth.
No!
And strangely, still has to make an attack roll, but with advantage, so okay.
2 1s, 2 1s, 2 1s.
Look, it's me, so...
No.
No, not 2 1s. All right. Oops. All right. Oh, no. It helps if I do the code correctly. All right, there we go. Well, it's a shit roll, so that's good. So just begins... it bites the man's neck and begins to feast upon his blood, which dribbles down his neck and onto the collar of his shirt. And you can see some of the bruising from where Lambeau's missiles hit him begin to heal and go away. Not very much for what it's worth. All right. That is their turn, and now it is the demons' turns. I'm very excited about this. One of the demons is going to... Oh, that's disappointing. Okay, so there are 4 demons. So 3 of them, they're all going to begin to sort of, in a very, very creepy manner, begin to sort of like waggle their claws and spout some sort of horrible infernal nonsense, or abyssal nonsense, I suppose. And all 4 of them are going to cast spells. And so, but they're casting them on, well, the man and the 3 vampires. So let's see how this goes. I'm excited about this.
Oh, good. It's fine. You got a cleric in town, right?
Totally. Ooh, the man failed. Big fail there.
Oh. Don't you mean the vampire? Or the creature?
Let's see. That vampire made it. That vampire did not, and this is the vampire holding the man. Did. Okay. So, super creepy. The cackler demons begin to cast, and all of a sudden, one of the vampires that's next to Zephyr and the man just start laughing. And I'm not talking giggles. I mean hilarious, uproarious laughter that causes the vampire to drop to the ground, rolling on the ground, laughing. The man that's in the vampire's arms sort of goes completely limp and is just uncontrollably also laughing as well as blood continues to dribble down his neck. And the 2 of them are just completely incapacitated with laughter. And the 4 demons kind of cock their heads for a moment and listen to the sounds of that laughter. And then 2 of them, all 4 of them perfectly mimic the sounds of the vampire and the human's laughter. And so there is just this horrible cacophony of laughing in this room, coming from these demons and from one of the vampires and from the man. And that is the end of that round. So Zenda, we are back around to you.
Zenda covers her ears and just screams, "Make it stop!" and then grabs the short bow and aims for the vampire that is laughing.
Yeah, do it. They are prone, so you have disadvantage, but they're incapacitated, so you have advantage, so roll normally.
Okay, I was like, cool, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Wait, let me make sure I'm doing the right number. I am great. Boom. 14.
That does not hit.
I'm
So
failing at this
as you fire the bow, it just happens that this vampire like jerks to one side with laughter, and the arrow thuds into the wooden floor next to him. You know what I'm gonna have you all do? Everybody make perception checks for me real quick. I should have had you do this before your turns end. I apologize, but you'll know it for next round.
Oh, that's all good.
What do my eyes see, Lambo? A 13. Hey, that's one of the best perception
That's
rolls I've
pretty good.
literally ever seen you make.
I got a 16.
All right.
15 for me.
Oh, and I'll check for Merrick. Oops.
This is pretty good for our group.
I am
goodness.
thoroughly impressed, I gotta say.
Nailing it.
Well, okay, Merrick's
there it goes.
There it is. All right. However, Zenda and Zephyr, and what did you get? 13. Oh, actually, Lambeau, you notice as well. For what it's worth. Okay, I don't want to be too cheesy about this. So the three of you now also make me either knowledge arcana or knowledge. Knowledge. Listen to me, I'm playing 3.5. Let's say I'll take either intelligence, arcana, history, or nature, whichever of the three is better for you.
Boom.
Boom! Magic check.
I'll do history.
Do it. Boom! All
Yeah,
right.
they're all
Okay,
best
so
roll
all three of you
so.
notice something and think about something as you begin to be able to sort of, fall into the calm of battle that adventurers eventually find. And that is a couple of things. One is that you notice it's oddly dark in this room. Especially considering that as far as you remember, like, when you went into the cave, it was the middle of the goddamn day. So, like, why is it so dark in here? You all see there are two windows on one wall of the room which are shuttered tightly shut, but you can just barely see the glow of sunlight coming from behind them. As you see this, all three of you instantly remember, with those fantastic rolls, well done, because this was a good time for this, remember that the legends of creatures such as these say that they aren't big fans of sunlight. Lambeau, you up.
Awesome.
Okay. So I know what I want to do. I just want to know if I can technically do it.
I'm excited.
Oh, okay. It can be bug. So, bringing it back, oldie but a goodie.
Uh-huh.
I want to throw open the shutters with the knock spell.
Ooh.
We love the knock spell.
I
All
could
right.
do something else with the spell level, but nope, that's what I want to do.
Do it. Let's hear it.
Let in the light. Oh, knock, knock. It's time to Sherlock. Your
There it
number's up, pal.
There it is. The shutters fly open, and immediately there's still cackling and laughing in the room, but several voices now join it, shrieking in pain and horror. Excellent. Anything else on your turn, Lambeau?
No, I think she's good with that. Just kind of standing triumphantly in the sunlight.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe
you can,
sideways so the sunlight still hits them. Whatever.
you can see the three vampires' skin begins to smoke and char as they scream. Merrick, you are up.
That's you.
Oh, that's me. Shut up. All right, we have summoned demons and are concentrating on that. So we are going to... Why do you have so many concentration spells, sir? I suppose, then, that they will cast Infestation upon the vampire that is still managing to hold on to the man, albeit weakly. And that is a Constitution saving throw. But the vampire somehow manages to make its save, and so no damage is done. All right, great. Get off my turn. Zephyr, you are up.
All right. How close am I to these? Like, there's one of the vampires adjacent to me is on the floor cackling.
Correct.
Is that right? And
Yeah,
then the other-
cackle screaming at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Are both of the windows open?
Only one of them is open at the moment, right? Because you can only target one.
I target. It probably is just one.
So actually,
I think it's just one.
Okay.
One.
Zephyr will disengage
Uh-huh.
and go towards the other one.
Yeah.
And open that.
Yeah, I'll let you bonus action open it because though we opened it in a spectacular fashion seconds ago, they are neither latched nor in any way held shut against anyone's will. So yeah, they open and more light streams into the room, sort of banishing some shadows that were remaining on one side of the room where perhaps the creatures could have retreated to, but now all darkness has been banished from the room. All right, it is their turn, and the first thing that happens is that they burn and they sizzle, and I'm looking at the wrong stat block, which is why I can't figure out how much damage they take. All right. Oh, that's a lot of damage.
It's 100 damage.
It's
they
not
take
quite,
100.
but it is a significant amount of damage, I have to say. All right. And also, they can't regenerate anymore. All right. So, the one that is on the floor can't do much of anything except make another wisdom save at the end of its turn to see if perhaps it stops laughing and just starts screaming. Yes, it does in fact stop laughing and start screaming. The other one vampire that was next to you, Zephyr, and is now burning, just sort of frantically runs around the room. If it wasn't so terrifying, it might be comical, but runs trying to find some sort of shelter from the light, but clearly cannot find any. The one, however, that is still holding the cackling man grits his teeth and once again goes to bite the man, hoping to suck some time and life out of this man. With advantage, because the man is incapacitated. There it is.
Bastard.
Oof. All right. And so you watch as the man, more blood trickles down its throat. The creature attached to its neck drinks, not so very deeply, I have to say, considering the rolls. And eventually the man's laughter begins to weaken and slow and soften until it stops altogether and he hangs limply in this creature's arms. The cackler demons are still having the time of their lives, and seeing now these creatures burn in the sunlight, they all get an idea, and they begin to cast again, and all four of them shoot firebolts out at the vampires, enjoying the smell of burning dead flesh. What is their modifier? It's a 3. That one misses. That one misses. They're not very good at it, but they're really enjoying themselves. That one misses. And this one is going to fire at the corpse of the man because he thinks it's funny. Oh, and of course that one hits.
Huh?
Oh, no.
So the man begins to burn as well, though it seems a little bit late for that to matter, a whole ton. And we are back at the top of the round with Zenda.
I don't know what to do. Is he dead?
I love Emily's reactions to this.
I don't know what to do. I'm so upset. Okay, so Zenda, everything's light, but the one vampire is still holding on for dear life, right?
Yeah, I mean, all of them are clearly in a lot of pain from the sunlight, but this one seems to be kind of a vindictive asshole and sees that you all clearly care about this dude. Yeah.
I'm gonna go after him again with my rapier this time.
Do it.
See if I can do anything, because it keeps not. Come on, roll something better than. Oh, come on. And a 19. That's
Hey,
that's
that one'll do.
Okay, let me see what my damage is. Do I do this? 1d8 plus 5. I got this, I swear.
Yeah, you do.
5 and 11.
Ooh, she's nice. All right, so you just stab that one, and it grunts in pain and snarls at you, and tosses the man's body to the floor, and squares up against you, gritting its teeth against the sunlight.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah. Lambeau, you up.
So Lambeau's pissed. She's going to use her sorcery points. And,
boy. That was a customer!
She's
He was my favorite!
Holy monkeys. That's a lot of missiles that go flying at presumably the one that just sucked your customer dry. Yeah.
Amazing.
Lots and lots of bruising. Lots and lots of bruising, and it flies backwards with the force of these darts, hits the ground and attempts to sort of get up, but the sun that is streaming in the window just keeps it down, and eventually the creature sinks back to the ground and slowly begins to burn away into nothing but ash.
No waving one-liner. She just does that. She's upset.
You know she pissed. Oh my.
Could the magic missiles be stakes this time?
Yes. We'll play
Yes,
that.
I love that. I love everything about that. Yes. All right. Look, Merrick, you and your concentration spells. I guess they'll try and cast Infestation again on the one that is standing and facing off against no one at the moment, but 20 plus 3. Oh, right, there we go. That'll do. So that is all right. So one little bug crawls across the standing vampire's face and bites him and does 2 poison damage.
Tried.
Yeah, tried real hard. All right, Zephyr.
So Zephyr may do this in vain, but he's going to run over to the man's corpse and try to cast Cure Wounds.
Why don't you give me a quick medicine check?
Sure. And that is +2. 12.
Yeah, it might work. He doesn't look great. He doesn't seem to be breathing, but who knows?
I am gonna cast, and even if he thought he was dead, he'd probably still do it anyways.
Oh, totally.
So we're gonna go ahead and cast that at a 2nd level. So I believe, yes, for 19. Wow, that was almost max.
Okay. So as you cast it, sort of nothing happens at first, but as you really pour your energy into it, you see a slight stirring in the man's chest, as it appears that shallow though it is, and he is definitely still bleeding, but the man does seem to have come back from what must have been the brink of death. I don't think he has 19 hit points as his maximum, and his maximum has been reduced fairly significantly at this point. But the maximum wasn't reduced to 0, so there was a chance, and there it is. All right.
And I will do one more thing. The fear will point to Zenda and say, Zenda, whatever you do, don't let them live to regret what they've done, and Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Thank you.
I love it. All right, so the 2 remaining vampires scream as the sun further burns them. One of them is going to race over to... Well, one of them is still on the floor, so let's see if they're done laughing yet. Nope. Oh, wait, they were done laughing last round, weren't they?
They were done laughing.
They were done laughing last round. All right, so they stand up, shaky as they are, but unfortunately they race over to where Zenda and Zephyr are, but they're unable to get all the way to you on this turn. The other one, however, does manage to get to you, and we'll say a 1-2 is Zenda and a 3-4 is Zephyr. So this one tries to grab at Zenda, and they do have disadvantage because of the sunlight. So does a 15 hit you, Zenda?
I think she may be frozen.
Is she frozen, or is it just...
I think she's frozen.
I am both thrilled and disappointed. Also, I don't know how to screen grab on this new computer. Somebody grab that for me, please, because it's beautiful.
I'll grab that.
It is beautiful.
Okay, you got it. All right.
No!
Oh, no!
Damn it. Ugh.
Oh, no!
Everything is ruined. I'm so disappointed. All right. I think we missed it. Folks, we're going to give Zenda just a minute to come back. We will be right back with you shortly. Don't go... Oh, look, she's back. Never mind, maybe, sort of. Yep.
Yes.
All right. Give us just 1 second, folks. I'm going to adjust these cameras. We will be right back so that those 2 are in their proper places. We'll be back shortly. Love technology. Sorry, everybody. We have some technical difficulties. We will be back with you shortly as we find out how much damage Zend takes from the vampire attack. Hold tight.
This is bullshit.
Oh, I'm so glad that I just had unmuted you at that point.
Oh, no!
Really? We are back, everybody. Sorry about that. It seems that setting fire to the zombies, to the vampires in the room, also set fire to Zenda's internet connection. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
We are back. We are happy about it. Here we are. We're not so happy because this vampire that is burning has just wrapped their arms around Zenda.
Oh no.
And is now lowering, their mouth to Zenda's neck. Oh dear.
Oh, I missed a lot.
Disadvantage.
On fire.
Okay. So Zenda, a 15 hits you, I believe, because your armor class is 14.
Yeah.
So it came over to you, wrapped its arms around you, grappled you, grabbed you, and now has lowered its mouth to your neck and sinks its teeth into your neck, and begins to drink from you. And you take 6 piercing and 7 necrotic damage from this. Your hit point maximum is reduced by 7, and you feel exhausted as that life is drained from you. And this vampire, well, heals a little, but considering it's standing in full sunlight, it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, that was rough. All right. The cackler demons are just having the time of their damn lives, firing off firebolts. 2 of them are going to continue to fire at the vampires like they have been. Unsuccessfully so far, but no, that one super misses. In fact, that one might set fire to something in the house. We'll come back to that. That one misses a vampire as well. One of them is going to fire at Lambeau, who is standing next to its previous target, the body of now living... Zephyr, not Lambeau. One of them is going to fire at Zephyr. Zephyr's an 18 get you?
Sure does.
So a firebolt slams into you for 6 damage, and one of them is going to fire at, we'll say 1, 2, Lambeau, 3, 4, Zenda, 5, 6, the vampire holding Zenda. 1, 2, so one of them fires at Lambeau, just for fun. And that firebolt slams into you for 5 fire damage, Lambeau. We're at the top of the round. Zenda, you are currently grappled by this creature. You can attack it normally, or if you wish, you can try and escape from its grasp, but that will also take your action. Oh, we've lost your sound, my love. You look very emphatic, but we cannot hear you.
I would like to escape, please.
Yes, all right, excellent. So I need you to make, for you, we're going to be making a dexterity acrobatics check, which, what's your modifier on that one?
Wasn't it plus?
Acrobatics plus 10.
Yeah, that's the one. So, you need to roll a 3 or better, so here we go. You rolled a 4, so it was a very fucking near thing.
Really?
But you are able to escape from... excuse me, you're able to escape from the vampire's grasp, slither away, and get out away from it. Lambeau, you are up as you see Zenda escaping the grasp of this horrible creature.
Yep. Chill touch. So that one.
Yep.
So I think I'll just go ahead and use my inspiration on it, because why not?
Do it.
I'll roll it separately, but that's my intent to do it. Plus, yep. And then, well, I'll roll it anyway, but I think that hits.
You might crit.
It's true.
Or... Okay. All right. So, you met Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah. Well, the inspiration I had from you.
From me? Oh, that's to grant that's to give yourself a reroll.
Oh.
So
right.
hang on to that, and we're gonna ignore it. You didn't use it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
so you hit with Chill Touch. Go ahead and roll them beautiful d8s. You rolling your damage like I roll my damage.
But upside, assuming they are undead, they have disadvantage on their next attack, and they can't regenerate.
They are definitely They are definitely undead. All right, Merrick. I mean, infestation, because it's literally the only damaging thing they can do. Oh, and another save. All right. Zephyr.
All right, so there's just the one vampire left, I'm thinking, or are there two?
There are two. One of them is at death's door, as it were.
Okay, Zephyr will go ahead and run over and run that one through, or at
All
least
right.
attempt to do so.
Absolutely.
And does a 13 hit?
It doesn't.
Okay, so that's what I did.
All right, but this creature recoils from you and steps into an even brighter patch of sunlight where it chars, and you see Buffy style, it just, as it is standing, turn to ash that drops to the floor. The other one screams, is frantically looking for a place to hide, but is unable to, and it too drops to ash, leaving nothing left in the chamber except the four of you and the terrified old man, customer of Lambo, and we can leave initiative for the moment.
Yeah, Lambo will go. I'm assuming Merrick unsummons the demons,
Yes.
and Lambo will go over to the.
Shit, wait. I think if
Can you
Merrick
talk to me?
tries to unsummon the demons without letting the duration, and as part of cast... Oh, no, that's Greater Demon, so yes.
Whew.
Yeah, Greater Demon, if they try to end the spell before it's done, they stick around for an extra d6 rounds just for funsies.
Yep.
But not
All
this
right.
one. All right, go on.
So those get unsummoned. Lambo will go to the old man side because they don't know the same, and check him. It's clearly Saphira's already done something. She can't heal, but the comfort. Gracie knows.
Oh, most definitely. He's grateful, but also just the most overwhelmed. He came in because he heard a thud. He got attacked by some vampires that came out of nowhere. He got killed, for all intents and purposes, by some vampires that came out of nowhere. You all came the fuck out of nowhere. I don't know he doesn't know what is happening. So yes, he is grateful, but somewhat incoherent at the moment.
Lambo will offer to help him to sit either in his room or wherever is comfortable in the house, and just be like, "Don't worry about it, darling. It's dealt with for now, and we gotta go break a mirror. Have a good day."
Mm-hmm. The rest of you, what are you doing as Lambo takes him to his room?
I am laying on the ground very much in pain. I was bitten,
Oh,
right?
right.
Yes, you were.
I'm not doing so hot. She's sick.
She's sick. Where the hell did I put?
Zephyr will go over to Zenda and say, "Do you require healing?"
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Heal 15.
Heal what?
15.
Oh, thank you.
So you can heal some of that, but remember that your maximum is still reduced by 7, so your maximum is no longer 52, but instead 45.
Right.
But yes,
Oh,
you
wait.
can heal up to 45, because I don't know what your current HP was at that point, but...
I don't think it was set properly. So...
Great. What does it say right now?
Right now, with me adding the 15, it says that I'm at 24.
Oh, that seems incorrect. I
And
know you
that's-
took a few
yes.
hits, but no, I don't think that's right. Let's put you at 40.
Okay, yeah, because I just don't think it ever got,
Reset.
You know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah. What am I doing?
I think you are correct.
Got it. Okay.
Got it? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, so yes, that. Merrick is, as they are wont to do, looking around and notices that in the ashes of one of the creatures, they find something red and shiny.
Is it a crystal?
It is, but they haven't touched it yet. They, for some reason, are showing a bit of forbearance.
Get some cloth, and pick it up, tie it up.
So as you grab at it, you can feel through the cloth, you can feel it trying, a very similar feeling as when you came through the mirror, trying to draw you into it, but it's very weak, particularly through the cloth that you're holding, but you can still feel the pull.
Lambo in reaction will just be like, I've had a trying day. I will smash you right now if you don't quit that out. I'm sure it won't work, but that's what she does.
I love it. I mean, it doesn't, but it's amazing.
Yeah, so I definitely vote we gather these all up and break them. In fact, no, I'm breaking this one now. I'm pissed.
Absolutely.
So Fleur just like butt in of like, I think she has a short sword. Something,
I think she does too. Yeah, it takes a few good blows. It's definitely a sturdy, obviously magically enhanced crystal, but you're able to get rid of it.
Yep, so that one. The other one that they originally kept, like, nope, that one's breaking too.
Oh, yeah. The one from the cage. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, the one from the cage. The inert ones will leave, that's fine. But yeah, any active ones, nope, getting broken.
Right. All right. So it takes a bit, but that happens.
Now we just have to get... At this point, should we take a rest, perhaps? Because I must say, I'm a bit taxed, and it's going to take a while to get back to that cave anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming I don't see a magical vortex that we can go back through to get back to where we were.
No.
Okay.
You just destroyed that.
Oh. Look. She was mad.
No, I'm all about it. It was absolutely...
It's what we wanted.
It's right. That's right.
What we wanted.
Yeah, so she votes take a rest and go back to smashing later. Tomorrow or whatever.
I'm all about the smashing.
Minnie Faye, who I completely forgot about, says, yes, that seems like... nope, that's not her voice. That seems like a fair plan.
You sound a little quiet.
Do I? That seems like a fair plan.
Here we go. Yep. I didn't forget about her, but seeing as she was at HP, I figured she'd just sit it out anyway.
Oh, for sure. If I had remembered about it, maybe she would have flown off your shoulder and gone to hide in the corner. Oh, well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Bless your cotton socks. All right. Zenda will... I heard that. Oh, yeah. Look, that's my touchstone word, just like with Irish, it's potato. Great, so are we going home to rest? Is that the plan?
That's Lambo's plan.
All right, yeah. Merrick will wholeheartedly agree, as it seems do Zenda and Zephyr. So you all can head back. You get home. Reese wants to chat, and I don't know that any of you do.
Zephyr will chat with her.
Aw. She starts by, like, just chatting about, like, her day, but then very quickly realizes that you don't look so great and starts asking questions about your day, because she's not a total monster.
I imagine a lot of it's going to be like, then I saw a bird, and the bird flew away, and then a different bird.
Yes, I like that. Because she can't leave the house.
Right. Well, and as a matter of fact, that was something I was going to try and do last time, because I got the polymorph spell. However,
right.
Polymorph can only turn her into a beast, but I don't know if Tressums exist in this setting.
Oh.
But if they do, I would allow her to become a Tressum, because Tressums have an intelligence of 11.
Oh.
And so that would allow her to, like, she could understand common, she couldn't speak it, but she'd be able to leave the house and experience the world outside of that.
Oh, my goodness. Do you have the spell slot for that right now?
Yes. So Zephyr, despite being hurt, is going to be like, I figured out a new trick and just...
Oh, God. Did you see his face? Did you see his face? She's evil. I don't trust her.
You're the worst.
I don't...
Only good things will happen.
Well, first of all, let's not get excited. Even if she is evil, polymorph can end at any moment that Zephyr wants it to, and it only lasts for an hour at a time.
Thank God.
So, however, she, first of all, loves her Tressum form. But she doesn't actually think that she'll be able to get outside. But you sort of encourage her, and she, like, you know, sort of, like, saunters over to the door and, like, sticks her paw out. And it doesn't stop at the threshold of the door. And she just, this is the happiest damn Tressum you have ever seen. Tressums are the winged cats, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So she just takes off, flying around the house. She is absolutely elated. Oh, I love that so much. Take inspiration if you don't have it.
Yeah, I will
She's
add it.
so happy. Zenda hates it, but she's so happy. I am about to get motion sick. What's happening?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to do with my phone. I'm struggling
No,
here.
you're okay. You're okay.
Trying to do this on the phone is.
I just happened to like have your camera like up and big, and I was like,
I'm so sorry.
oh, Reese is the happiest. Right. So, bedtime?
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, Reese will have to remain inside while you're unconscious.
Yeah.
She can't maintain the spell. Great. So, you all have your rest. You spend the better part of the day in bed, and the night in bed.
Is this the fortune cookie game?
In bed. When you wake up, you all feel much, much better. Zenda, your hit point maximum is restored to normal when you finish this long rest. And as you all sort of wake up and make your way downstairs, there is a knock at the front door.
Zephyr will go and answer it if he is nearby.
I can only assume that he is, as he was probably the first to arise.
Probably.
Let me
Probably making breakfast, as he does.
almost certainly. Let me just real quick. Nope, that is the wrong way. Here we go. Sorry, I didn't have the page up because I wasn't ready because I'm the worst. Here we go. Okay. So, as you go to answer the door, you open it, and on the other side of the door stands a fairly horrifying looking creature. Standing about your height is a creature that is covered in spikes and spines and barbs. And it stands just beyond the threshold. And as you open the door, it looks you up and down and says, "We meet at last."
Zephyr is very unsure of what to make of this situation, but finally he says, I get the feeling you know me, but I certainly do not know you.
The figure says, "Oh, but you do. I am Amun, and it is I that you have been unwittingly working against for all this time."
And here you are.
And here I am to congratulate you and to make you an offer.
Well,
Can I have to roll to see if I'm awake?
You can absolutely be awake if you would like.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on in at any time to the scene. You all, I mean, this is, this wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily first thing in the morning. It was at some point in the
Okay.
morning. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I would be remiss not to involve my companions in this discussion if you are here to make an offer, but if you would wait, I will assemble them.
I wouldn't dream of keeping them out of it. I'll wait here. And it sort of takes a few steps back and sort of waits just at the bottom of the porch steps. Join me when you're ready.
Zephyr will close the door, not rudely,
Sure.
just like carefully let it latch and lock.
Sure.
And then he'll run and start gathering people and let them know. Probably not calmly, like he's probably a little
Sure.
bit frantic as he's trying to explain it, like to one person and then another and so on.
Okay.
Sure. Shit.
Yeah, so after you explain, I imagine Lambo just storms over to the door, opens it, no solicitors, slams it.
Ah! Lambeau and Zephyr, why don't you both make me Arcana checks, see if you recognize what this creature is.
There we go. 13. Oh wait, can I use my advantage now?
Sure, yeah, reroll now if you want.
15.
15 is actually enough. Zephyr, you have no idea what it is.
No,
but,
having all kinds of memory problems over here.
Yeah, but Lambeau, even that quick glance allows you to recognize it as a barbed devil. A middlingly powerful, though nothing to sneeze at, middlingly powerful devil, and it sort of makes sense that it's here to offer you a deal, since that is generally what devils do.
Yeah, so she'll just relate that, just like, yeah, we shouldn't take a deal with that. Thinking they're pretty mad about us working with it. Barbed devils are nothing to be messed with. So yeah, I say we just ignore them, and if they're still on the doorstep, we kindly ask them to move and go about our day. Problem solved. Actually, they were still like on the steps.
They were at the bottom of the steps, yeah.
Do the steps still count as Risu's domain?
She has never been able to get past the threshold of the door in her ghost form.
So she can't control outside of the door. Damn it. Okay.
No, that'd be nice.
Zephyr will say, I think we should hear his offer, not because I have any intention of entertaining it, but we will learn more if we hear what he has to say.
If you insist.
Zenda is just silently sharpening her weapons. After she was told what was outside, she was like, nope, no. And it's just sharpening weapons.
I love
it. No, ma'am.
So do some of you head out there?
I assume Zephyr opens the door. Please don't go outside.
Zephyr will cordially step into the doorway and regard the spine devil. Mm-hmm. And he will say, please tell us what it is you have come to say so that we may consider it.
He says, are you, and he tries to sort of look around you, are you all here?
Embo is not in view, very purposefully.
There, you have an audience, yes, comprised of all of our members.
As you wish. Tell me, why are you here?
We are here to perform a job, nominally. Mm-hmm. However, I speak only for myself when I say that I am here in the defense of this town. I have come to care for it quite a bit, and I do not wish to see the people in it come to harm.
A noble purpose, and one that I think you will find I am not at odds with when push comes to shove. But let's return to this job. Who assigned this job for you?
Lambo will mentally be like to Zephyr, just like, will you tell him to just ask? He's asking an awful lot of questions.
That's precisely what I was about to do.
I love it.
For the time being,
I'm surprised he got as far as he did, to be honest.
Right. For the time being, that is irrelevant information in the scope of this conversation. So I would like to hear your offer so that we may consider it presently.
Directly to the point. As you wish, though I think you will find that mentioning the soldiers of Acheron is much more to the point than you may believe. But as you wish, I will present my offer. You say that you are here to protect this town. Whether that is your assignment or not, at least for you, is irrelevant. And so I offer you assistance in this. This town seems to need your protection, whether from me or from others. How much do you know about the history of this place?
Enough.
Then you undoubtedly have heard about the pull that it has on particularly talented individuals. Am I right?
Yes.
And so this town throughout the years has been threatened by all manner of talented individuals. Fair enough, some come here and mean the town no harm, but some do. And so a protector like you and like your friends is exactly what this place needs. I merely offer assistance with this, for when the going gets rather tougher than perhaps you are prepared for.
I may be a child by your standards, but even as a child, I understand the degree and severity of any kind of contract with you. I've seen it firsthand, and I've seen the consequences of these contracts. I will not brook any deal with you, because I know that any benefit you offer now will not be good for the town down the line.
You have seen some of my handiwork, yes. Though, to be honest, the contract that you undoubtedly refer to was rather an easy mark for me. Not much of a negotiator, that Dr. Ovid. For you, though, I imagine you would be able to get me to agree upon better terms. Those terms could include protection from the town from me without any effort on your part, if you so desired, and I'll do you a courtesy further. You're right. Deals with me are dangerous, and there will be a price that you and anyone else who agrees to the deal will eventually have to pay. There's no reason that eventually has to be any time soon, and there's no reason that that price should be paid by anyone but yourself.
Lambeau is off to the side, so Lisa Fear can see just like pointing at where she thinks the devil is and like stabbing motion.
Saphir just smiles at that, like to the side, and then returns and it goes back to his scowl. I will have you agree to the best deal. That is to say that you will leave us alone, and the next time we see you, either you or our group will be dead.
Zenda looks at Zephyr like, really?
Like ours.
Zenda was like, wait a second, but hold on, because he's offering some kind of power, so hold on a second. He will chuckle and say, I'm so very confident, and to be fair, why not? You've done so well against everything that I have thrown at you, intentionally or otherwise, so far. Perhaps you will prevail, but perhaps not. You other three in there, the offer is still on the table. Not all four of you have to take it. If any of you wish to negotiate terms, I am here.
Zenda stepped forward and said, well, what's in it for you?
For me? Well, we have to negotiate that, of course, but...
what do you want?
Something that you wouldn't even notice was missing.
Zenda looks at Zephyr and goes, do they always talk in code like this? I just want details. I just want to know what this is.
Zephyr will like step into the doorway and like behind the door frame basically and say, he wants our souls. One of our souls. Devils traffic in souls.
Zenda. You sweet baby angel, sweet summer child.
Back and forth between them and just goes, and then walks back inside.
and Zephyr will just look at the remaining two, at Lambeau and at Merrick and say, I don't presume either of you, I don't wish to speak for you, but I don't presume either of you have any intention in trafficking with this brood.
Oh, don't worry. I can speak for myself. And Lambeau will go over to the doorway. Look here. If you're looking for souls, I suggest you visit a cobbler. Your company is not needed here.
Gives Lambeau a high five. Like, yes.
just sending a quick message to Kyle because this is not a decision that I want to make on my own.
That's fair. That would be just Merrick's just like, oh, I'll take the deal. It's just like, damn it, Merrick.
However, in this moment, Merrick looks extremely thoughtful. I thought I heard something. Looks extremely thoughtful, but doesn't move to accept the devil's offer.
So, I mean, presuming that I can give the final word, I'm going to step out and say, we have no intention in dealing with you because we are not going to brook your evil in this town. Whatever you think you can offer us, we will double with our own efforts, and we will not stain our pure intentions with your vile offerings. When we see you again, we will intend to kill you. That is the only thing that I can give you at this moment.
I applaud you. Truly, I do. None of us expected this. I thought we had groomed the soldiers of Acheron better. Ah, well, back to the drawing board. In the meantime...
Lambo's just making shoo-shoo motions over Zephyr's shoulders.
In the meantime, rest well. There is much, much more to come. And the devil sort of turns and begins walking back down towards the path that leads into the woods and down the hill upon which Haverton Manor sits.
Dick.
Yeah, I bet he does.
What briefly are the four of you doing as he walks away?
Briefly. I guess Lambeau, she probably wants him to vacate the area first so she doesn't go out right afterwards.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just kind of looking at everybody else like, well, guess we'll be fighting the devil eventually. Probably eat breakfast.
Oh my
We
god.
should probably eat breakfast. Oh my god, yes.
That has
Lunch,
walked
whatever
out.
the meal is.
Zephyr probably... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
Oh.
I walked outside.
Zephyr just kind of leans against the door frame when the creature, like on the inside, so that the creature wouldn't be able to like turn back and look, and just kind of slumps, exhausted. Like he wasn't really ready for all of that confrontation that early in the morning, but there you go.
You did good. You did great. You shouldn't let your food get cold.
Oh, good point. Yes, of course. Yes, we should have breakfast together. Now more than ever is an important time to reconnect with each other.
Yeah.
Is anybody concerned that he said we? Anybody else concerned about the group think that he seems to think is happening? Or why is he bringing in the people that were? What's going on? Zen is in full like. Why is anyone else freaking out about that? I don't trust the people that sent us here.
That's why this is our base of operations. Look, the important thing is we have a source of income, and we're going to have to fight a devil and/or devils later. But for now, breakfast.
Oh man!
So
and I'm going to attempt to like link arms with Zinda and Zephyr.
Which is super awkward and lopsided.
Exactly.
we're gonna have to like scoop down and
Maybe if the two of you get on either side of her, you can sort of pick her up, and her legs are just swinging as you all. That is such a delightful image, and so we watch the three of you and Merrick just sort of shaking their head off to the side, walking into the kitchen, and cinematically speaking, the camera sort of pans over through some darkness, and we see this barbed devil walking back through the woods, back to the cave, and returning themselves down those spiral stairs, through the stone hallway that you all passed by. He sort of looks into that first doorway that you all went into and sort of shakes his head and tisks his tongue, and we can see in the room the mirror that you all went through to fight the vampires is now shattered and in pieces on the floor. The crystal on top of it cracked straight through and no longer glowing. He continues down this hallway, passes several other doors, all of which stand slightly ajar, and as he passes each of them, we can see into them, and we see a few other mirrors that have also been cracked with shattered crystals. There's one at the end, however, that we see him pass that still glows. You can see the door is closed, but you can see a bright red glow coming from underneath the door through the cracks. He continues on down the hallway and takes a seat in the very far room at the end of the hallway, takes a seat and begins casting a spell. And then we once again sort of pan, and we see the headquarters of the soldiers of Acheron back in the free city of Greyhawk. And we see the room of the sort of Lord Commander of the organization, an individual who none of you have ever directly interfaced with, but who is sort of the commander on high. And this man is just shutting the door after a meeting, and he goes back to sit at his desk. His head sort of quirks to one side, and we see him listening intently and then nodding and saying, "I suppose I should have expected it. They were an unpredictable bunch. It will be done." The camera goes back to the barbed devil. We see him nod, satisfied. He stands up again and walks back to that door with the red glow coming from underneath the door. He pushes open the door, and we see this time in the mirror, we see a field. The field belongs to the Ruiz family, the family that was run out of town so long ago. He approaches the mirror and sort of waves his hand in an arcane pass, and the view in the mirror sort of shifts, and we see the mirror, the view in the mirror sort of speed out away from the Ruiz farmstead and out into the hills just outside the town of Brenton, where we see a family of individuals hard at work building some sort of stone structure. At the moment, it just sort of looks like the foundation, perhaps, a large, flat square, hundreds of feet on a side. They've been hard at work for some time, clearly. The devil reaches up and taps on the crystal at the top of the mirror and smiles as a face appears in the crystal, wrapped from head to toe in bandages. And the barbed devil smiles and says, "We'll see how they deal with you next." And we fade to black, and that is for the moment where we end the Brenton Files, Monsters and Myths. Well done, everyone!
No! I still don't trust Reese. I want to know if I'm right.
Barbed devil
I can't.
clearly gets us ghosts.
I don't trust her. I don't know why.
I know you don't, dear
Really,
heart.
I don't trust children. It's just children.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's absolutely what it is.
100% what it is.
Oh, thank you all so much for playing this fun little mini adventure. I know it's a hell of a cliffhanger, but who knows, maybe one day we'll reunite the Fraction faction and see if we can't dispatch
please.
Ammon back to the hell from whence he came. But for the moment, thank you all so much. Thank you to all of you who have watched live, who have hung out in the chat, or if you have watched the videos on demand, if you've gone to the YouTube channel and watched the series. I know it was a short arc. We had scheduling things and weirdness because summer is always like that for everybody, but we did quite well with the 8 episodes that we were given, so thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this little mini arc. Let's go around. Let's do final introductions. Let us know who you are, who you played, where we can find you on the interwebs, and one of your favorite moments from the season, or just from this episode if you want to do it that way. That's fine too. We're going to go in reverse order from the way we started, so we're going to start with Am.
Hi, I'm Emily. Oop, can you see me? Great.
Yes, we
Hi,
can.
I'm Emily. I played Zenda. I use she, her, hers pronouns. You can find me on Instagram at Emily D Mads. And I mean, the amount of one-liners that Lambo gives us on a regular basis are just, they're golden. They're gold. So I think it's my favorite. My favorite name.
I love it. I love it.
I love
Ismael. Oh, where can we find you on the internet, Emily?
Instagram, Emily D Mads.
Great, and this time I remembered to put it down there, so go to Instagram and follow that handle. All right, Ismael, go ahead.
Okay, yes, Ismael Alvarez, aka Elven Wizard King. You can find me as Elven Wizard King or King Lorathorn on Twitter. where I primarily reside, or the much more difficult to spell Lorathorn Edasseril on Facebook, which I somewhat less frequently inhabit, and I played Zephyr Steward. I use, and my character uses he, them pronouns. Did I forget something?
Just a
my
moment.
favorite thing. Yes. Other than the copious amounts of puns that we used,
Beautiful.
I think I enjoyed the push-pull magnetic polar opposites that we all were, where we try, like we were the, as I like to say, the functional dysfunctional family.
Absolutely. Yes, quite a bunch. I will have you know that Kyle did respond to me, speaking of dysfunctional bunch, and he told me that Merrick would not, in fact, take the deal, but had they taken the deal, I would have had them sneak out in the middle of the night to go join the devil. But it seems like you've done a number on them, and they care at least enough to stick with you all for a little longer. Yay! All right, Alicia, let's hear from you.
I'm Alicia. You can find me on the internet at NNG98 on Twitter and NNG9 on Twitch. I sometimes stream stuff, which I think will be Slay the Spire until I get something else to work. I played Lamp like my pronouns are she, her. I played Lamp Phil. Her pronouns are also she, her. Favorite moment from this particular session, from a character standpoint, was actually Zephyr managing to save the old man, whose name we still don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a great name.
Yeah, from the campaign overall, my favorite moment is with the time skip with Zinda when she created her alter ego of Adnes.
Yes.
On the other halfling in this town.
I forgot about
Adnes is coming back in a big way if we ever get back together.
Oh, she's coming back, and she's going to be revamped with a whole new makeup set,
I
whole
cannot
new
wait.
costume. It's gonna be,
I love it.
she's going to be great.
I just have to imagine like maybe some awful people in town. It's like, see, last week there was one halfling, now there's two. This whole place is just going
Like, what's happening?
Yes. Yes. Oh my god, I love it. Yes. All right, and I am Eugenio, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands. You can find me on Twitter at DM Jazzy Hands. I've just loved all of it so much. I think the naming of every episode after something ridiculous you all say, definitely a highlight. Also, just the left turns. Like, I have DM'd for long enough that like I understand that no plan survives interaction with players, but like, whoa, did y'all take some left turns that I was not ready for? But I loved it, and I loved where the story ended up. I love the possibility for something down the road should that come together. I appreciate it. I have had quite a streaming summer, but it is rapidly coming to a close. You can find me in 2 hours' time on the Variant Rolls channel with our penultimate episode of Variant Rolls Presents Ravnica, game there that I play Xenafia, the half-drow warlock badass bitch. I'm super excited about her. Love her very much. Come check us out at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I have one more session this coming Sunday with the Half-Rate Heroes on Gratuitous RP, and then after that, my stream summer is done, but you will still be able to find me on my podcast, The Last Refuge, a D&D actual play podcast. We are coming back with new episodes a week from Wednesday, so Wednesday, August 21st. Check us out on Twitter at DND Last Refuge to keep up with us. We'll let you know when we're starting season 5, which we are going to do our best to make a good entry point for new listeners. So if you don't want to go back and binge 104 story episodes leading up to that, we are going to be doing our best to make season 5 a good starting point for new listeners. So come check us out at DND Last Refuge. Once again, we do want to thank everybody who has supported the channel in any way, big or small. We, of course, want to thank all of you for subscribing, if you're able to do that, for joining our Patreon at patreon.com/thegreyhawk channel. All of that makes all of this amazing programming that we have here on the channel every week possible. We also want to thank Roll20. We are officially supported by Roll20, the world's leading virtual tabletop. You can check out their services for free at roll20.net. We want to thank Heroic Maps for being our battle map sponsor. You can find their stuff on DriveThruRPG. Tabletop Loot, you can use coupon code Greyhawk to get 15% off your dice at tabletoploot.com. And we want to thank Devin Rue at RueInc.com and Cantrip Candles at cantripcandles.com. That is going to do it for us for this week and for this season. Thank you so much for hanging with us here on the Brenton Files Monsters and Myths. Everybody stay hydrated, have a hydrated. Have a wonderful week, and happy gaming, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.